All right, we're trying it again, Minderz. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 6B of the Jumping the Rail podcast, Take 2. This is Mark Redman coming to you. Now I am from the noodles position, Minderz. Power's back on. You can see me, you can hear me. We're in good shape. We had just about every stinking technical issue you could imagine happening on my end earlier today.
And watch out for flying headphones.
Yeah, this is what's left of my headset. Literally, all I did, I just did this to put it on, and as soon as I did that, this just popped off, and
and it went soaring across.
I tried taping it up; it wouldn't work, and I just finally, I fed up with it, and I forgot that I was on camera when I sent that friggin' thing flying. But we are good. The microphone's working. The headphones are on. All this stuff. And our guest has graciously agreed to come on with us again and try it again, Minderz. So
let's do this.
Let's just get right to it. This is all we're doing tonight. We're just doing the interview. No bells and whistles. So rejoining us from the Lone Star State of Texas, the Grappler, Len Denton. Hello, sir.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing better now that things are working.
Take 21. Do it again. Let's go.
Yes.
Hey, it's just like a normal day for me doing interviews, okay? Stop. Do it again, Grappler. What the hell was that?
Now, we usually have at least one technical problem when we're doing this show, but nothing on that scale from earlier.
No. I hear you, brother. It happens sometimes.
Well, we are going to start completely fresh, though.
I did love watching you throw the headset, though. I look like Bill Watts, right back to the Bill Watts day. Going, all right, I'm back in Mid-South.
But since we're doing Take 2, I'd love to hear you talk about Sika again, especially
since
we
first of all, I want to say my condolences to his family, and it was a good friend of mine. I hate to hear that 10 bell. I've heard so many of them through my career. I broke in 1977, so you can imagine how many guys I've seen go down the pike. You know, like I tell me and John Nordlat, we go, I just tell people when we're signing autographs now at those shows, we go, hey, listen, people, we're talking days. We're not talking years. You better get an autograph picture now, okay? You don't know how much longer. We're not talking years no more. We're on the other side, okay?
Yeah.
But my condolences go out. But I was talking earlier about me and her. We were talking about, you know, the way it is nowadays in the world of wrestling. There's no kayfabe, you know. I mean, nobody saw like, oh, it's show business, it's entertainment, it's this, it's that. Well, I'll tell you how serious it was back in the day. One time we were in Shreveport, Louisiana, and for some reason, I can't remember, it's like a Thursday, and we had the night off, which we never had a night off. It was always wrestling. For some reason, we were just there, and the next day we had to be back in Shreveport. Now it's Thursday night, and it's ladies' night at Cowboys in Shreveport. I go, brother, I got all dialed up. I got a shower, got ready to go that afternoon. And I come down to go to my truck in the parking lot at the hotel, and I see Sika sitting out at the pool by himself just drinking beer with a cooler. And I went, damn, man. So I'll go out and talk to brother before I take off, you know. So I went and said, hey, and I'm sitting there in a chair talking to him. A couple of beers, and all of a sudden this guy pulls up. He was checking in the hotel. He gets out of his truck and goes, hey, you can tell he's all drunk, right? He goes, hey, you're them wrestler guys, aren't you? Hey, he said, guys, I see you guys on TV. And he come through the fence, and Sika's looking at him, and he got him like one of those big metal chairs and slid it up right in front of Sika. And he said, hey, yeah, I'll see you guys. I know you are. You're them. And he started to say fake wrestling. He never got "fuck" out of his mouth. Sika slapped him so hard, he turned him in the chair upside down. He went on his ass. He grabbed the metal chair, picked it up, and I caught the chair, Because Sika he would have killed him. He hit him with that big iron chair. And I'm fighting with Sika. And the guy gets up, runs on. Sika, we threw the chair down. He goes, he got pissed at me. I said, calm down, brother. You would have killed the guy. Damn. He goes, I should have killed him. And he got in his truck. He hauled ass. But that's the way it was back then, boy. I mean, those guys took it serious.
I remember hearing the story about when High Chief got Alpha and Sika in the business in San Francisco, because they would go to the shows, and when the riots would happen, they would start just beating up everybody. And I think it was Roy Shire told Peter Maivia, you better break those two in before they kill somebody.
Yeah, no kidding. I believe it. Them guys were, bro, they were nobody to mess with, believe me. They were something else. I mean, if they liked you, it was great. But if they didn't like you, you were in trouble. It's kind of like Andre the Giant. Same kind of deal. You know, you didn't want to tread on them boys because you're in trouble in a hurry. You know?
Well, you're talking about Andre. Didn't you used to travel with Andre for a little bit?
Well, see, here was the thing. Like, Andre was like the midgets or like the girl wrestlers. He would come in 2 weeks in every territory. You know, he's like a novelty and sell out everywhere, of course, you know. And so when they would bring him in, like we come to Mid-South and I was there, he knew me. We drank before. I want Lenny to drive me. He'd tell Bill Watts. And if I was in Kansas City and he flew in, I want Lenny to drive me. So you had been depending upon who you were, some places, other guys, you know, but a lot of times, you know, it'd be me and him, and we rode together a lot. And he'd always want me because he knew I would drink with him and take care of him, you know, make sure he got there and back and everything. And we were good friends, you know. We worked against each other and stuff, but man, he used to have a blast when, you know, working with me. What you call it, I'd just get an ass spanking. Is what I'd get really, because he'd get a headlock and he'd be slapping me on the side so hard I couldn't tear a limb. I'm trying to get away and he's holding on my waist, will let me go. I'm like, holy shit. He's hurting me worse than, I mean, even coming close to hurting him, you know, his big old head, you know. But Andre, one time I worked with him in the Superdome in a 6-man, I think it was. And he said he gets in there when he steps over the top rope, I'm tagging him in. And me and him come in there, he said, do this, do that. And he shot me and gave me it was a big crowd in the Superdome, right? And so this is the first time I ever seen Andre get excited. He was kind of excited. He shot me and said, backdrop. And brother, I'm telling you, he launched me. I've never went that high in my life. I went, shit, am I ever coming down? He was moved straight up. I never did a backdrop that high. I never have again. But you know, I've seen him do this too. Okay, like he had good psychology. One time we were in a 6-man tag. I never forget. It's in a spot show. It wasn't a big deal. It was a high school, but it was sold out because he's there. Mm-hmm. It was Junkyard Dog and Paul Orndorff and Andre the Giant against me and Murdoch and Bob Orton Jr. Okay, in a 6-man tag. Oh, wow. So we're out there, and you know, here comes Orndorff, and we do our high spots in. Here comes Dog, and we do his stuff. And then Andre comes in, bam, 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 and he tags in Orndorff. And so I figured, well, it was time to get some heat. So, you know, I think, you know, I'm probably Paul Orndorff because he's, you know, he's big, but he's not as big as the rest of them. So I tried to stop him. He couldn't stop me. He keeps firing back. I grab him, I turnbuckle, he blocks me, turnbuckles me. He tags in Dog. I try to stop Dog. He headbutts me. They wouldn't sell. So finally I said, hell. All of a sudden Andre goes, he sees what I'm doing, and Andre goes, tag me in. Think about this. They tagged him in. He come in there with me. He said, hey, when the referee pushed me back, load the boot, kicked me in the gut. And the referee pushed me back out of the corner, load the boot. He come around. I kicked him in the gut. He went, oh, and staggered and went down. He sold. We got heat on Andre. He gave them the hot tag. Wow. I couldn't believe it. And then we got to the back. He chewed their ass out. But that was good. They deserve it. You fucking baby face prima donna assholes. I got to sell the Giant. What the hell's wrong? But you see, he had good psychology. He knew somebody had to sell.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to mean nothing. All of this beat us to death, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the way he was. Andre was like that. He had good psychology in the ring, too. People didn't know that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're talking about JYD, and I've got to bring it up. I heard JYD you're facing JYD, and some security saved your life.
It's true. In New Orleans, Louisiana, you know, in New Orleans, when you went to the ring, you went through some double doors and then another swinging double doors, and then there's the crowd. and then down to the ring. It's like kind of like a theater in the round, but it was big, and so and people were wild as hell, and they didn't have regular like just hired guys there. They had real cops because the people were so bad. They had to have real cops there, and those cops took care of us. But this one particular time, went to the ring, and I got in the ring, and they're playing dogs music. Who they say gonna beat that dog? And he's got his chain. He's coming. He's swinging. And I'm in the ring, and I remember telling the referee, I told Jack Howell, his name is Jack Howell. I said, Jack, I said, go down there, go to the floor, and tell a dog when he slides in, when he comes in, I'm going to stop him, get this started with the chain and get him going, get some good heat. He goes, okay. So I seen dog wink at me when he come around the other ring post. I knew he had it, right? So I'm waiting on him. He come rolling in. I stop him, bam, bam, and I beat him up with the chain. I'm choking him and stuff. And then all of a sudden I look up, and the crowd are all like just jumping. I thought there was a fight up there. They were like diving down and stuff. I'm like, what's going on? So when that happens, when you're in a match, you're talking to this, but if there's a fight out in the crowd, you might as well stop and get a hold because nobody's watching you. They're watching the fight, right? So I told Doug, I pulled the chain. I got rid of the chain. I just got a reverse chin lock. He says, wait a minute, wait till the crowd starts watching us. So finally, they all started getting back up, sitting in their seats, and everybody getting back together. And we had a match. We had a good match. So I got to the back. I didn't even know nothing was going on. I didn't know what happened. But I went to the back, and one of the police officers said, come here, Grappler. I said, what? He goes, you need to go over and tell us so-and-so, Sergeant, whatever his name is, thank you. He just saved your life. I said, what are you telling me? I said, go ask him. And he told me, when we walked you to ringside, he said, you got in the ring, and usually we go back to the double doors to watch, we're not blocking nobody. But I wanted to see what happened with you and dog because I was into y'all's match, right? And so I just happened to stay at ringside. He said, when you jumped, dog, when you rolled in the ring, the guy stood up with a big old long rider coat on, opened his coat up, pulled a 357 out. And he said, I caught him just in time. He's standing at ringside, right at ringside, and you got your back to him beating the shit out of dog. And he said, I caught his hand, and my partner come running over, and we got him down, took it away from him. That's why everybody was diving under their chairs up there. They seen the gun flying all around.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
And I knew nothing about it. I said, what a shitty crowd. They ain't.
Right.
But yeah,
Reb,
that's true
unmute
story.
yourself.
What's that?
I'm telling Reb to unmute himself. He's
Oh,
got
yeah.
himself. There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to counter background noise as I'm going.
I got you. But yeah, it's a true story, man. I didn't even realize it happened.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff don't happen anymore. It's like a lot of the heels don't know how to be heels anymore. They're more interested in getting their shit over.
You know what I'll say? Here's what I get. I don't watch much of it, but when I do, like I remember back in the day, whenever I was working, right, and even when I was a fan, they had some scary guys. Now everybody didn't look like a pro bodybuilder, like all cut up. The guys like Killer Carl Cox. That sumbitch was scary. Even when I was in the business, I was scared of him. He'd be sitting in the dressing room. You didn't want to make him mad. You could just tell.
He was a Marine,
Look
wasn't
at Samoans. Look at Samoans. Them guys were scary looking guys. They weren't didn't. But I mean, you don't have any of those guys no more. Everybody looks like a pro bodybuilder. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's not very many of those guys. So it's kind of like the people go, well, it's more like acrobats and all that. That's what they think.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nobody that knows how to get any serious heat, how to do it. They don't know this. They don't really have, like I was talking with her earlier. It's like you're watching the show, and you can just call it because they go like this. They get on the mic and say, last week, all of a sudden, boom, the music hits. Well, here comes the opponent for the next week every time. You go, dude, they need to get some better writers, dude. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I say, Reb, I even told him, I said, yeah, that's probably one of our big pet peeves is that they play the music for a run-in.
I hate when they do that. That's the thing that annoys me more than anything. And
we were talking about like I used to book. I booked for Harley Race and Bob Geiger in Kansas City. I booked for Don Owens for a long time in Portland. And if you've ever done that before, back in the day, I mean, I know it works now. It's got to be a personal issue to draw money. Mm-hmm. It can't just be because you drop kicked me and hit me with a chair last week. It's got to be something that touches the emotions and the people out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't see that very often on that TV no more. You know what I mean? Like it used to be. Yeah. There was always a storyline like that. You had one coming up underneath it, one in the middle fixing to take the one in the main event. It's always storylines coming up, and personal issues. And like Dog was a personal issue when they blinded Dog to Freebirds. That got some serious heat, dude. That carried on for like 2 or 3 years, drew money after that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Look at when DiBiase turned heel on Dog and hit him with the glove and took the title off of him.
Right. True.
So you kind of mentioned it. I can't keep going without asking about the loaded boot, because that's one of my favorite heel gimmicks that I think I've ever seen. Can you get into how that came about? Because I know you told the story on other interviews before. But
what it was is I was in Charlotte in Mid-Atlantic territory for my second time. It's like my 4th year in the business, and I already said this. I go, you know what? I'm giving myself 5 years. If I don't get on top, then I'm gonna get out and go back home and go to work with my dad or whatever, or do something. And it was like my 4th year, and my first wife. And I go, and I said, look, honey, we're gonna go back. She's from Charlotte. We're gonna go back. I got booked at Mid-Atlantic, and I said after I do my 8 months or 9 months, and there'll be time for me to go. Then we're gonna go back to Texas, and I'm done with wrestling. She goes, okay, because her family lived there. So, okay, that's cool. So we were there, and I don't know, about 4 or 5 months in, we were in Norfolk, Virginia, and I went to the gym and went to eat and come back and walking down the hall of the hotel. And I don't know if you remember a guy named Gene Lewis that used to wrestle.
Yeah.
Gene Lewis had his hotel door open. He seen me go by. He goes, hey, Lenny. I stopped and said, yeah. He said, I need somebody on the phone wants to talk to you. This is before cell phones or anything like that. It was lucky he even caught me. And he goes, I said, what? He goes, he's Buck Robley. I didn't even know Buck Robley. I'd never met him. He wants to talk to you. I knew he was a booker in Mid-South, though. So what I was, hey, Buck, how you doing? He goes, look, kid, here's what I'm wanting. We need a top heel, somebody that can wrestle and get time and work their ass off in the ring. And he said, I heard you're a good heel. I said, yeah. He goes, well, it's a top spot. What do you think? I said, well, he said, but don't you wear a mask? I said, see, I did when I was in Atlanta a little bit for Ole and them, because for when it was Channel 17, all that stuff back there, and because that way I could wrestle as Len Denton and come on the same tape with a mask on as the challenger.
Yeah. And
so I told him, yeah, I'll wear a mask. He goes, well, and here's what was funny. A week before, me and Don Cornoodle had been riding down the road from some trip, and we just got to talking. He goes, one of these days I want to wear a mask. And he said, I said, do you, Don? He said, yeah. So why? I told him about, remember I was in Atlanta. I wrestled with a mask as a challenger. I said, what would you call yourself? He said, I call myself the Grappler. I swear. And whenever Bud Roby said, well, what do you call yourself? I went, the Grappler. He goes, that sounds good. That's how it all started. And then when I got there, they had already had a guy, Dr. X. I remember when I first went in when I was young, he was there and he had that loaded boot, but he didn't last. And after I was there a little while, it come down to this right here. I didn't even realize this was happening, but Watts was watching me, right? And I'd been there about 3 or 4 weeks. And Watts flew into Shreveport on his own private plane. He had his own plane. Mm-hmm. And he was over on the Babyface side. And Paul Orndorff slipped over and told me and if he got caught, he got fired. Back then, that's how bad kayfabe was. If he would have seen him, he'd have fired him. But he snuck over and he says, hey, Lenny, listen, Watts told me and you are on semi. We're going 30 minutes Broadway draw. He said, because he came here just to watch you. He said, if he's impressed, he said, if he likes what he sees, he's going to put the North American title on you. If he don't, he's going to give you your notice. He said, brother, you better kick it in the ass. I said, Paul, just listen to me. Thanks for telling me. And we went out there and blew him away. Thank God. And Bill Watts, that's when he did the angle with DiBiase, and he hurt my leg. I left, and I come back with a loaded boot. Then I took the North American title. That's how all that happened. But it was like, I've come that close to getting my ass fired, as always. my whole career, this close to getting fired every time.
Yeah.
There's some heels in our local independent that we go and see, and I swear at least 2 or 3 of them I've suggested doing the loaded boot, and nobody's done it yet.
They won't do it. It's the easiest gimmick in the world. I love it.
I know, right?
People still get mad about it. I got a guy named Joe Kane. He does he wrestles as Grappler. Well, see, Tony Anthony was Grappler 2.
Yes.
So he wrestles as Grappler 3. I manage him in Louisiana and Mississippi sometimes now. And he has a loaded boot. And what's cool, he's got it on his left foot. I had it on my right foot.
Oh, okay.
He's left footed. And it's even cooler. Because I'm telling you, he's an orthopedic boot. Nobody understands, you know. The guy needs it.
Yeah.
But you're making fun of a handicap. He's still trying to compete wrestling, you know, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. See, when you
People
first
still
started,
get pissed no matter what you do. You load it, kidding. He's cheating.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Then I remember the Iron Sheik started doing it too.
I laughed a while ago. I was talking to her a while ago, and she said, I never got to finish telling you the story about getting fined for lapping in the dressing room by Bill Watts.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I want to tell you that. I was sitting in the dressing room of Biloxi, Mississippi. I don't know, you know, Watts had this wonderful temperament, you know. And we're just sitting there. He's not even in there. And somebody had said something funny as hell. And just as they said it, he opened the door to come in the dressing room. And I guess something was wrong on the other side. I went, and I started laughing. He goes, "Hey, you think shit's funny, boy? That's a $50 fine, asshole." And I went, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Say one more word, it's 100. I went, "Okay." I thought he was joking. I thought he was just saying that, right?
Right.
When I got that next Wednesday Tuesday or Wednesday when we got paid, I got my check right on the stub said -50 for laughing. Right, written, typed on it. I should have kept it. I should have kept that.
I was I'd
Yeah.
it.
All right, Reb, I'm going to ask him because Ricky told us that we had to ask him.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I already know. Go ahead.
So Ricky told me, he said I was supposed to say that I heard you had been pulled over to make a phone call while you were traveling with him from a payphone. And he said you would know exactly what he was talking about.
I know exactly. Okay, here's the deal. We all on Friday nights when we was in the Northwest up there for Don Owens in Portland territory. Friday was Eugene. Right? Well, Eugene's 100 miles from home. So, you know, you can be home an hour and a half, 2 hours. Every Friday, I'd end up coming home like 2 or 3 in the morning. And so my old lady said, "Hey, if you don't come home tonight after Eugene, that's it. You better not." I said, we go this one place where we met each other, you know, before we left from Portland. And we stayed at this, leave the car at this bar, and we used to go in there and shoot pool and drink and have fun. And I'd end up staying later than I should. So we're coming back from Eugene. I told him, "No, I can't do it tonight." You know, you wimp, you puss, all this stuff, right? All the way back. So by the time we get back, they got me fired up. I go, and we, like I say, we didn't have cell phones. We pull in at the bar, and I go, "Hold on, I got to call my old lady at that phone booth." Everybody hush, shut the hell up. So I go in there, I get on the phone, I say, "Hey, Katie, hey, listen, baby, I got a flat eye," and them two assholes, him and Madrill, get out and start pissing on the phone booth, on my boots and everything while I'm talking. And I can't go, I'm about to crack, dude. I'm trying to be nice on the phone, and they're laughing their ass. I'm like, I was shaking. I was so mad. Believe me, she never bought it, okay? But anyway, but then as soon as I hung up, they took off running, laughing like, all right. Yeah, Ricky, he loves it. He tells that story everywhere we go.
He told us that no one could tell it like you could. So
yeah, he loved it. Pissing all over my boots when I started talking to my lady. I should have killed him. I should have left him there walking.
I love it. All right, Reb, keep going, bud.
All right, so I think the main thing I wanted to ask, and we've heard multiple people when we announced you were coming on, the first thing people asked me was to ask about this. Working with Jake Roberts in Georgia, I believe it was.
Oh, you talking about the DDT?
That you were the first guy to take the DDT.
Yeah, no, it was in. Now Jake says it was in Oronjo, Louisiana, which is a little town outside of Baton Rouge. I remember it as but that's the first time we ever really did it, was Oronjo, Louisiana. And he goes, what we did was we were wrestling, right? And it's hot, and they had no air back then in there. And since summer, it's like 90 degrees outside, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're wrestling, and like I said, Watts always had me go 30 minutes or no less to get all the time because I was the wrestler on the card, the grappler, you know, top of the marquee. He said, top of the marquee says professional wrestling. That's what I want you to do. Wrestle your ass off. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so me and him were going and we're sweating like hell, And I was working a thing where he was coming back to the front face lock. Now I do a high spot tackle, drop down, duck, clip, slam, turn around, front face lock, and you know, it grind me back down the mat, and I worked my way back up and blah blah. And so we did that 2 or 3 spots. And as he went to grab the front face lock, we slipped and did the DDT. It was a total accident. Wham! He thought he'd kill me. Are you okay? And the people went, whoa! They popped like hell, right? I said, damn, did you hear that, Jay? I said, do that shit again. So next time we did it, of course, Jake, bam, slapped me on the back and popped. The people really went crazy. Mm-hmm. And then we started doing it for a high spot, you know, each town. And I told Jake, man, you need to quit doing it. Use that for a finish. And then that's what he ended up doing. He went on TV and used it. Then he named it the DDT, and then it went from there. Mm-hmm. That's how that happened.
Yep. Now it's back to being a high spot.
I was gonna say, now it's back to just another move.
Yeah, it's 50,000 DDTs now. They do it 20 different ways. Yeah, I know.
Between the DDT,
God, it was over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Between the DDT and the Hurricane Rana, seems like everything is a Hurricane Rana anymore.
Super kick.
Super kick.
Yeah. Super kick. Yeah.
And Chris Adams would be pissed if he knew they're using super kicks as high spots these days.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. But I remember earlier you asked me who was the best guys that I ever worked with. And I told you Ricky Morton, Harley Race, Ted DiBiase, Rick Martel, Tommy Rich. But I forgot one is really, really one of the best is Eddie Mansfield. Wow, he's amazing. You seen your name beside his, you went, night off, baby. Night off. It's like smooth, boy, everything. You know what I mean?
I popped a little bit when you were talking about Tommy Hillfire because we actually met him just back in April.
Yeah.
So he actually got back in the ring. He was in the ring.
Did he really?
Wrestling. Yeah.
Wow.
It was in a battle royal. Yeah,
it was in a battle royal, but he wasn't.
Well, a battle royal. Yeah, I understand that. But I that's why I got out of the ring. My last match, I watched myself and I went, I look like a 90-year-old guy trying to get up. Right? Oh my God, that's embarrassing. You know what really happened? Why I really quit? This is the truth. My wife Katie, she goes, this is like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe 15, I don't know. Whenever I've never wrestled, this is my last match. I wrestled a match on TV for some guys that were doing independent stuff over in Portland. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a pretty good match, right? And they had it on the TV, and I told her, I said, Kate, watch this match. What do you think? And she watched it, and she was one of those person that she would just tell you what she thought totally. She never cut slack. Mm-hmm. Well, she watched it, she looked at me, and she said, will you do me a favor? Stay off the TV and quit embarrassing our family. That looked pitiful.
Oh, no.
I went, that's the last time I'm going in there. I swear. She was right, too. After I watched it back, I went, whoa, that looks so sad compared to what I used to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how honest she was. I was in Hawaii working for, this back when Leah Mavia was still alive, right? Mm-hmm. And I was in a tournament for the Hawaiian heavyweight title. I ended up winning it. My third match, I beat this guy. His brother's sitting at ringside, this big 300-pound Samoan guy. I rolled on the floor, and the guy spun me around, knocked the hell out of me. Boom, right? Me and him getting a big fight, and we're fighting all over. But finally, the police had to pull us apart. I mean, I was glad they did. I was choking. He was choking me. I was almost out. I had my finger this far up his eye socket. He wasn't even budging. Okay, and I was just about to go out when they pulled us apart. I went, thank God. We got into it again in the dressing room. Okay, and then so they go, just go to the hotel. We'll bring you money. Go. I said, no, I want my pay. Go to the hotel. We'll bring it. Which they never did, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, I got in the cab, and I still had my tights on, my bag, my clothes. I got in the cab with Katie, and the cab driver's looking in his mirror like, what in the hell? And I could feel my eyes starting to swell, right? He nailed me good. And so I went, hey, honey. I'm like, she was what? I said, I held my own pretty good with that big son of a bitch. Now she goes, he beat the shit out of you. I said, damn you, Katie. Give me some guy. Oh, my God.
Give me something.
No mercy, man. No mercy.
Little support here. Little
He
support.
beat the hell out of you. What are you talking about? That's a true story.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
boy.
And then I got screwed out my pay too. I went, this is great. But I was already there a week and everything, and they took care of that, so I had a good time anyhow.
Yeah.
So, you and I were talking earlier, and I was saying how I saw you on Briscoe and Bradshaw on their podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I was asked that I should ask you another question. That is, have you still never thrown up in Texas?
Thrown up in Texas? No, heck no. Dick Murdoch trained me well.
You gotta wait
I
till
have
you
in
get across
Oklahoma, though. I have in
Yes.
Oklahoma, right as you get across the border, pull over. And I'm sick. That's a good one. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Dick Murdoch was too much, that guy. Oh, my God. Me and him made 1,000,000 miles together. He about killed me. Well, I'll tell you what, Dick Murdoch did this. You guys ever heard of a boot match before? Not a loaded boot. Murdoch says, hey, we're in Baton Rouge one time, and Baton Rouge was, I don't know, 3.5 hours to Shreveport, 2-lane road, most of it.
Mhm.
And so we get through wrestling like at 10 o'clock. He goes, we got to make the last call. We got to make the last call, kid. He said, what's this? He said, what's this tonight? So I'm working with him in the main event in Baton Rouge. He said, you better hit the shower and get your ass out of here. We got to make, last call in Shreveport. And every time I try to make a last call. I said, okay. So I'm working with him, and he goes, hey, get on my leg. So I start getting heat on his leg. He goes, start untying my boot. Take the boot off and beat me up with it. So I took his boot off one foot. He said, take the other, go for the other leg. Take the boot off. I took the other boot off, beat him up. I take his socks off too, and I'm choking him with the socks. And bam, bam. Then we did the finish. 1, 2, 3. He grabbed his boots and everything. But when I rolled into the locker room, he was already coming out of the shower. Hurry up! That's a boot match. See there? He had me halfway in dressing before the match was over. That's the way you make last call, you little greenhorn.
Yes, that's the way.
Oh man, that's kind of brilliant, actually.
He was something else, man.
It's kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of brilliant.
I never thought he had me doing it all for him, right? He was a good worker. He worked the boys.
Yeah. I love the story. I think it was Murdoch talking about how he didn't want to work, so he had the fans call the match for you.
That's true. It's in Biloxi, Mississippi. I dropped right in the middle of the match. I dropped my knees laughing so hard. He goes, here's how it started. We're sitting there, and it's like Biloxi's like on a Wednesday or something, middle of the week. Everybody's burnt out, from TV and everything. And Dickie's over there, and he's one of those old timers, he don't want to talk over the finish. He don't want to talk no high spots. Just call it in the ring. Damn greenhorn asshole. I'm going over. Don't worry about it. We'll call it out there. The referee will tell you. I'll call it out. So I said, Dickie, I don't want to do nothing. I don't even want to work tonight. Matter of fact, I don't want to work this match. I go, okay, fine. He goes, but all right. So the bell rings. We go to the ring. I don't know the finish. I don't know anything. Nothing. I go to the ring, right? And he goes, no, he told me before we went out to the ring. He goes, you know what? He said, I think what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to let the people call the match. I'm tired. I don't even want to call the match. I thought he was joking me, right? We got to the ring. We lock up. He does this and that. He picks him up. He slams me, grabs him by the mask. People say, what do y'all want me to do to him? Some guy says, punch him. He goes, okay, boom. He says, anything else? Guy says, clothesline. He said, clothesline. One guy said, slam him. He goes, okay, slam him. While he's doing all this, he gets faster and faster. Some guy behind says, drop kick him. He turned around and stopped. Brother said, drop kick him. I can't drop kick you, dumb bastard. Call something else. I went down to my knees laughing so hard. Oh my God, you quit laughing, you asshole.
Hey, you had the mask on.
It was unbelievable. I can't drop kick you, dumbass. Call something else. He was letting them call the match.
Hey, more power to him, I guess.
He wasn't lying.
Yeah. I always heard
he was
Murdoch.
that good a worker, though, man. He was unreal. Yeah.
I always heard when he got into a mood, he would just like take crazy bumps and flop around and do all this if he was like, and then it was like Watts would like get on him about taking the shit seriously, and then he'd do it later on. But if he didn't want to, he'd just bump like hell.
I'm
for
telling
everybody.
you, I'd get heat on him sometimes. He would do this. And the people didn't even realize what he's doing. He'd go, okay, Three Stooges. I would slam him, start him in the head, and he'd go, whoop, 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 whoop. He'd be doing that, going around the circle. He'd go reverse. I'd kick him, he'd go the other way. Right in the middle of the match, people be going, the Grappler's kicking him with a boat. And we're laughing our ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I love the Stooges, so that popped me.
He would do that. I've done it. I couldn't tell you how many times I've done that with Dickie. You know, he goes, Stooges spot. I go, okay, here we go.
I was gonna say I didn't realize till I heard one of your interviews that you were actually Dynamite Denton at one point.
Well, yeah, I went up for Stu Hart in Canada. Can you imagine? I had bleached blonde hair and a black beard, and I went as Dynamite Len Denton because Dynamite Kid was up there, right?
Right.
And we were going to tag up some, and I had an angle with Bret Hart, so I came in as Dynamite Len Denton. Yeah, I was Dynamite, all right. Them trips turned me into a damn little firecracker after all them road trips. Yeah, about killed me up there. You know, the thing about Canada, though, is everybody watches hockey, and they won't, it ain't like touch you or stab you or shoot you or whatever. Everybody from the little 100-pound guy up will fist fight you. I couldn't tell you how many fights I got into. I got so tired of fighting people at the matches. And Stu Hart wouldn't hire no security. So you just had to fight your way there and fight your way back half the time.
Oof.
You know, it's like, wow, crazy.
Well, that's kind of like Bill Watts, isn't it? That, you know, if you got in a bar fight, you better win.
Well, no, he can't. Yeah, you heard that story one time. Okay, we're in Mid-South, and that's another Murdoch deal. I mean, we're in Mid-South. I got the North American heavyweight title. I got the Mississippi heavyweight title. I got one half of the Louisiana tag team titles. And so Watts has a big meeting at TV. He says, hey, listen, everybody listen up. And the reason, because some of the guys something happened to some of the guys in a bar and a bunch of stories come back. He said, hey, if any of you assholes, and this, he said, matter of fact, and most importantly, this goes to you, Lenny, the Grappler, because I know you're always running with Murdoch every night in these honky tonks, and you're our champion. If anybody gets their ass whooped, don't come back to work. Your ass is fired, especially you holding the North American heavyweight title. I said, okay, yes, sir. And he walks out of the room. I told Murdoch, and then he goes, no, I wear a damn hood. He goes, I'll stooge you off, you son of a bitch. He would have, too. He would have stooged me off. But I got my ass whooped. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. I never did get my ass whooped in the bar when I was there.
Gotta love it.
Murdoch would have went and said, hey, got his ass kicked, fire him. I guarantee you would have.
See, these are the wrestling stories we don't get anymore. We love these wrestling stories. We love road stories.
We lived them every day, up and down the road, all the time, bullshit going on, you know, constantly, these guys, you know. I don't even remember them sometimes until people start talking about stuff, and I go, oh, yeah, remember when, you know.
And the whole reason I'd even brought up Dynamite Denton was because Dynamite Kid is my favorite wrestler.
Right.
Dynamite's my favorite wrestler, and then British Bulldogs are my favorite WWE wrestlers. So or tag teams. So I was like, Dynamite Kid, yay!
I met him in Germany before I ever went for Stu Hart. Right, we were in Germany. It was on a tour, and he was there. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of a guy named Moose Borowski, a wrestler.
I've heard the name. I've never seen his work.
Well, he was in Canada, and he was in for the Crockett's for a lot too. But Moose is when I was good friends. We trained together, you know, lift weights together, and I went he got me booked in that tour, you know, in Germany. So he had been really talking about Dynamite Kid. He knew him real well. And he said, man, this guy's, you talk about impressive. He is unbelievable in the ring. This guy, what an athlete. That's all I heard, you know, and I'm trying to work my way up. I'm a young guy. He said, I hope you meet him someday, Lenny. So we're in the tent, you know, the first day at the tournament. And Dynamite comes walking in, 160, 70-pound skinny ass. I went, you're Dynamite Kid, the guy. Me and him almost got in a fight right there. Moose said, stop it. He goes, stop it. I said, brother, I didn't mean to piss you off. You want some of me, mate? You want your poor brother? He would fire off in a heartbeat. But anyway, after that, we got to be friends. We almost got into it right off. You know, this is a little something you've been bragging about. I said that, boy, he fired up. He got pissed.
That sounds about right.
He
Sounds
wanted to
about
go,
right.
man. Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't take none of that mess. But
I want to rewind a little bit because you talked about when you were the Mississippi heavyweight champion, and one thing that mainly I got from watching Mid-South was the emphasis of those state championships that all the territories had in the NWA. How important were those back then? Because you had like the Missouri Championship in St. Louis, Kansas City.
They all meant something when you come into a territory. If you were the champion of that territory, like in Kansas City, like for Race, Race had the world belt, but that if you had that state championship of their territory, it meant a lot. You were like their champion,
Yeah.
But the one that Watts had, the North American title, was on DiBiase for a reason. They were priming him for the world belt at one time, and they would give you that, so everybody that come in the territory, you have to work with the best, But Watts ended up giving it to me to get heat and to draw money because they moved on to something else. But in each individual territory, it would mean something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just shoot angles around it and all kinds of stuff,
As you've traveled around, which one of your territories have been your favorites? Which ones did you have the most fun in?
I think I had the most fun in Tennessee, and I had fun. Let's see, Portland was pretty easy, pretty good too. You're home every night, but I had a lot of fun there too. And Texas was Texas for the Funks was trips, and Mid-South were trips out the God. I had a good time, but it was just trips to kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was probably the best ones. Tennessee and Portland, where I had the most fun stuff. I had time to do stuff.
Because we're definitely Cornet people on this.
I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Florida too. I actually love Florida. Working Tampa because I started. Eddie Graham was still alive when I broke in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I worked Tampa 2 different times. Once when Eddie was there, and once when I come back and he was gone.
Yeah.
But I loved working that territory, Florida. It was good too.
Did Mike have the book when you came back the second time?
I believe. I think that it seemed like to me Wahoo had it.
Okay.
Mike might have been part of it. I'm sure he was. I think he was part of it. They were doing it together or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, going back to Tennessee, is that where you first started teaming with Anthony as the Grapplers?
No, the first was in Mid-South.
Okay.
I went there after I did the Grappler run and all that, and then I left there. I come back as the Grappler, and Watts says, Tony was there. He said, hey, Lenny, what do you think about that kid? I said, hell, it works good. He said, well, I said, do you think you can tag with him? I said, yeah, hell yeah. And so then he put Tony with me, and we started tagging, and we just hit it natural as a tag team. He was a quick learner. He knew how to work already, good bump and everything. He said teaching some psychology in the ring and stuff, and it clicked right off. And then we left there. We went, worked as the Grapplers in Southwest for Blanchard. Totally. Then we come back to Tennessee as the Dirty White Boys, and that was Jimmy Hart's idea as the Dirty White Boys, and we did that a few territories, and then finally I split all back as a Grappler, and he took off as a Dirty White Boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love watching this stuff in Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
When you'd work with Smothers, it was just so good.
Yeah, he was good. Tony was a very good worker. Yeah. I talk to him all the time still.
Yeah. There's a guy we ought to try to get a hold of, Minderz, see if he'd be up for doing podcasts.
He would do one for you. I guarantee he would.
Nice.
Yeah. If you want me to, I'll call him when, tomorrow, this week or something. Let him know.
Sounds great.
Sure.
Sounds
Okay.
great. That's how we got a hold of you. So
Yeah, Tony would love to do it. He's got a million stories too.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Yeah. He's got millions. He brings up stuff on the phone. I forgot we done. I go, damn, Tony, I forgot all about that. I was watching matches the other day. A guy sent me a thing on YouTube. I go, damn, I don't even remember that match. It was me and Tony wrestling Rocky Johnson and his brother Ricky Johnson in Hawaii.
Okay.
We had a hell of a match too. We were the Dirty White Boys. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't remember wrestling that match, but okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, stuff comes up all the time. I can't remember. I go, damn, I remember now. But gosh, weird.
On an old episode of this podcast, I think it was one of the first ones we were doing, like in this situation, Minderz, like on the computer, and Dirty White Boy came up, and Stacy my wife was in the background, and all of a sudden I just heard, "You can't say that." She didn't know who Dirty White Boy was. She thought I was just calling somebody a Dirty White Boy. I'm like, no, that was his name. So
Yeah,
she's learning. She's learning.
Man.
We're teaching her the best we can.
I got you.
Well, because I think the fun part is that sometimes I feel like if you're a girl, you don't know as much about wrestling because girls back in the days they were the valets, they were the managers,
right.
You had your few, you had your Sherry Martells and your
Judy Martin
and good all Judy. Them, but you're good Judy. But it's like when a girl says she knows a lot about wrestling, I've noticed a lot of people are like, oh yeah, whatever, you just want to see. I was like, no, I do. Hey, I really do.
I'll tell you a funny one about Tennessee. And when I worked the Memphis territory, they bring the girls in sometimes, for like a week or 2 weeks around the loop.
Yeah.
And a girl named Joyce Grable. Right? Yep. Remember Joyce Grable?
I do.
Joyce Grable in Memphis in Tennessee, they'd always do a battle royal, and they let the girls be in the battle royal. And nowhere else in the country we did that. It was all just in Tennessee. And I used to go, Joyce, I'd be in dressing with Joyce. I go, they're coming out tonight in the battle royal. I said, oh yeah, it's coming out. She goes, Lenny, don't you start. Because I did all the time. And I go, they have it like a whole week, it'd be the battle rules. And so as soon as the bell ring, I'd have all the guys, they'd like dog pounds. She go, you're getting out of be acting like I'm going to jerk her top off. She'd be kicking and screaming. And we'd laugh and then let her go. Then she'd start beating the hell out of us. And it was funny. I did it a bunch of times to her. Like, we're getting you tonight, Joyce. I'm getting you tonight. You better not touch me, Lenny.
I forget what tape I was watching, but they showed a women's battle royal from, I think it was like maybe the late 60s. And it was one of those where it was pinfall for eliminations, not throwing them out over the top rope. And I thought that was the craziest thing. It's like you look at it now, you look at the girls nowadays and they're taking just as crazy bumps as the guys are.
Unbelievable. I swear to God, they take unbelievable bumps. Yeah, beat the hell out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them do. Yeah. Not all of them. we have a few we like to call a Fabergé egg, but
Okay, I got you.
But
all right. I've got kind of a loaded question for you.
Yes, sir.
If gun to your head, who would you say was the toughest guy you've ever been in the ring with?
Probably, I'd say Harley Race was one of the toughest.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Yeah, I'd say Harley or Sika wasn't. Hey, he wasn't no slouch either.
Yeah,
Sika, right? No, believe me, in his day, you didn't want to mess with him.
Yeah,
none of those Samoan guys.
No,
and there were some tough ass guys, man. I swear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a handful of your matches with Brody today, just before we went on.
Well, Brody was another one. Yeah, I didn't think of Frank. Jeez, yeah. Frank had accidentally hurt you. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, I remember one time in Dallas on the Sportatorium, I'm working with Frank, and I'm like, I'm so tired. Frank comes out, swinging his chain, all that, jumps in, everybody runs. I go, you know what, hell with it. When he gets in here, I'm just going to go for it and see what I get. And I grabbed, when Frank come in, I locked up, boom, back to him. I hit him like 4 or 5 times, just stiff as hell. And he yanked me around. It's a block to punch, and then I'm going to get a headlock. He said, take me over. I'm like, what? He said, take me over. He started calling high spots. He said, hit me with a tackle, I'll drop, I won't sell it, drop down, hip toss, you kick me off, get the headlock back. I started doing spots. Frank never did spots. And so when we went back to the back, he went like this. Hey, Lenny, come to me and said, hey, buddy, come here. You know why I did that? because you had enough balls to stand up. Everybody else runs like a chicken shit. Good job, brother. Because that's the kind of guy I like to work with. That's the way Frank was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've got a guy.
He came to me one time. He came to me. I've been there about 8 or 9 months. And he come to me and he goes, hey, listen. He was booking at the time. And he goes, hey, Grap, brother. He goes, you got Kevin tonight. I go, Kevin Barnett? Yeah, he said, I said, how you want me to take it, with the claw? He goes, yeah, right. He goes, look, he goes, he said, about 8 or 9. I said, okay, we're on TV. So he comes back in a little bit and he goes, hey, they want to see if you get a little juice, you know. I said, okay. He goes, if you get it good, now you know I'm fixing it. You know, you're just a borrowed time here right now. You've been here about 8 or 9 months. I said, yeah, I know, Frank. He said, but if you do it good, maybe I'll get you some extra time. So I went out there, man. I hit it good, man. It was just pumping. I come back and I'm taking a shower. And I got ice on it. I'm in the shower trying to get it to stop, and it won't stop. I want to go to the bar. I ain't got time to do all this new stitch. I'm not quit. I want to go chase girls, right? And I got ice on it, standing in the shower, and Frank jerks the curtain open right in the middle of the shower. He goes, hey, good job, kid. Got you 12 more weeks.
There you go.
That's the way Frank was, man. That was our life back then. Got you 12 more weeks.
We've got
go ahead and cut your head off. You get 12 more weeks in Texas that way.
We've got an independent guy up here that reminds me a lot of a miniature Brody, and it's so crazy. He's got the wild hair, but
got the chain.
Except he's about a foot shorter. That's the only difference. He's about a foot.
But strong
shorter,
as a bull, though.
Right?
Strong as a bull.
Yeah.
But like we follow a lot of the independents around here, so we see a lot of. We have this little joke that we do now that if we see guys breaking kayfabe in our heads, we charge them at least $5.
Is that right? Wow, I got you. Okay.
We had 2 brothers that were feuding down here, right?
Yeah.
And then we saw them later, like in the back of the area. And they were
not even in the locker. They were just along the back wall, just
like where the merch stand was at. And they were just sitting there talking. And all of us, there's 5 of us in the group. We all looked at each other and we all go, $5? They're like, yep, $5.
If we're separated, we'll just hold up a 5.
We'll just hold up a 5. Everybody knows what that means.
Hey, one time, I tell you, it's not kind of off that subject. I just thought of something. You might have liked this, talking about Andre the Giant a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, me and Murdoch, like I said, when we were there, me and Murdoch ran together every night. Now, we're in Jackson, Mississippi, and Murdoch was in somewhere. For some reason, he wasn't there that night. So I drove there by myself, and they had a big roll-up door in the back of the arena, you know, and Andre had just come in for his first night of his 2 weeks. And I come out of the dressing room, warming up, get ready for my match. I see him on the other side of the thing over there in the dressing room. He sees me, goes, hey, boss, tonight. I went, and I was hungover so bad. I had to work with Dog that night. I mean, I just barely got through the match. I was dying from Murdoch the night before. And I went, man, I told him, but as soon as I got done, I took a shower. He was on the last. I got in my car and hauled ass. I had an apartment in Baton Rouge, right, where all the guys stayed. Yeah. So I knew he knew to come back there because he already knew he'd been there before. And he figured I was going to meet him there. But I went across the river. Black Bart and his wife had a trailer rented over there. And I knew they had an extra bedroom. I went across the river and knocked on Bart's door. And I said, hey, Bart, can I stay here, man? I said, Andre wants to go. He goes, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. I don't know who stooged me off, who told Andre where I was at. But I was asleep. I swear to God, like this, in the matter of sleep. He couldn't even fit all the way in the trailer into the bedroom door. Here's how he woke me up. He grabbed the mattress and flipped me in the mattress upside down. When I got up, he chopped my ass back across. I got up, so let me get my pants, boss. Wait a minute. Brother, you talk about torture me? Oh, my God. And across the river, the bar stayed open all night. I remember at daylight, he was short, drink. I'm like, we got to work tonight, dude. He said, I don't care, drink. Oh, he said, you don't run from the giant, you little asshole.
No, apparently not.
I never did anymore. I never made that fatal mistake again.
If we ever go anywhere again, you try to wake me up like that, I will hurt you.
Oh my God. See, I looked up, seeing who it was. I knew I had to go. I had to get out of there. I wasn't going nowhere but with him.
Yep.
Did you ever see Andre drink an American? It's what I read a book about him going to the bars, and he had a drink that they would make where they would take a beer pitcher and just fill it with all of the liquor they had behind the bar, and he would hold like a beer mug.
I never seen him do that. I never seen him do that. But I mean, I remember one time we were going to the show in Lake Charles, Louisiana. It's about 100-something miles from Baton Rouge. He go about halfway, he goes, pull in, liquor store. I went, now we got fired. We can't drink. Bill Watson would have fired our ass if he smelled any alcohol. But Andre would pull in, he got a case of wine. And I think it's 4 big bottles or 6 big bottles in a case of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And he drank 2 of them before we got there. And he took in the rest in the dressing room. And we come back, he got a case of beer for the way home. It's 100 miles. I'm not kidding you. And we went to the bar when we got back. You know?
Of course.
Did Watts ever find Andre?
No, he wouldn't find him shit. So I'm saying he didn't do what was he? He just said, I ain't working for you then. Yeah.
He was Teflon.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
A part of me wouldn't have been surprised to see Watts try. Just to see how far he could push him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I always say Mid-South's my favorite of the old territories to go back and watch. And
yeah, I got a million stories from there. I made that. Well, I went there when I was young and went for about a year, and then I left there and went to Florida for Eddie Graham, and that's when I started getting bigger. And then I went to Atlanta for Ole, and then I went to Charlotte, and then I kept going. And then I came back to Mid-South, like I told you the way I did. Mm-hmm. About 4 years in, and I was way bigger, and everything worked out with the mask and all. See, my thing was this: I could talk good on TV, and I could do all the moves and all the high spots, and I had good psychology, but I just had a plain face. I wasn't ugly enough to scare nobody or good looking enough to draw women. And so I needed a character. When I put that mask on, it changed everything. That's what did it for me, you know.
Yeah.
Watts figured that out, and he goes, and then he gave me the boot. He goes, oh, okay, I got something here. And he got over, you know.
Yeah. It's crazy. Go ahead, Reb. Sorry.
I was gonna say, back when you would wrestle under the hood and then you come back out and wrestle again, did you get paid twice those nights?
No, that's what I mean. No, one time I was in Atlanta. Check this out, Reb. I was just a rookie, right? Like upcoming, trying to make it, right? I wrestled on Channel 17 as Len Denton, and I wrestled the mask as a challenger. Then we drove to Columbus, Georgia, 100 miles away. Had TV again at 3:00. I wrestled as Len Denton, and I wrestled as a challenger. That's 4 times, right? Then I went to Waycross, Georgia, which is like 200-mile trip, and wrestled in a single as Len Denton, challenger in a tag, and a battle royal as Len Denton. So 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and drove 400 miles in one day and got paid 1 time for each time. For TV twice and for the 1 time. I wrestled 7 times. I was burnt. Yeah, I didn't get no extra money.
Oh, man.
But that's the reason they like that. Oh, we can use him twice and, gets. He just learned anyway. He needs to do it. He needs to learn. Kid needs to learn. He don't know what he's doing anyway. He needs to learn. That's it.
That's another lost art, I think. I think there's a lot of, when people go now to the main wrestling like WWE or AEW, they expect to be over as soon as they get there. And it's like when they come in, there's nobody that like the art was this. I can go work a match with Andre and make it make sense, be logical. I can work a match with Eddie Guerrero, which is 10,000 times littler, and make it believable and make sense. You had to have the psychology, how to work it, who to work, how to do the high spots, who to work with, and what to do. I don't think they learn that no more. They come in, you're supposed to make my gimmick look good. That's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the way it was back then. I had to make everybody look good. You know what I mean? I worked with, and then make it believable in the ring. Well, from Carl Cox to whoever I'm working with. You know what I mean? Well, and the thing that bothers me more about all of that is that if they would just listen to some of the older guys or some of the vets that are in the back. I mean, come on, you've got Jake in AEW now. You've got D. Malenko. You've got Dustin. You've got all these guys that have traveled the roads and done all this.
Yeah.
And they're not willing to listen, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I know. I go to some of these shows, and I'm sitting in the dressing room, and guys are they're sitting there talking over their match. I walked up to them. I said, "You guys have been talking for an hour and a half. We all going an hour Broadway tonight? Oh, you got a 5-minute match."
Yeah.
I go, "What the hell?" I go, "They don't want any." I sat there and they don't ask me any questions at all. I've been doing it 50 years. And I actually worked on top everywhere. You know what I mean?
I feel like if Reb and I ever got in the business, we would be the ones that would drive you all crazy because we'd be sitting there going, "Wait,
No,
what if
I
we
would
did?
love
What if we did?"
I love it when I would ask you. I'd try to help you the best I could. That's what you love to do, passing on. Somebody had to do it for me. I never would have known. Wasn't born knowing it. Somebody had to teach me, and I had to go out and experience it. But they don't want to. They want to make. Hey, I go to the guys. I come to the match. Here's what it looks like. You're trying to impress the guy you're working with. You're supposed to be impressing the people buying tickets.
Yeah.
The guy you're working with you can show him how many drop kicks you can do off the top. They don't. Who gives a care? The person out there buying. We want to sell tickets to the matches.
Yeah.
The people. That's who you impress. You're in the ring. You don't even focus on the crowd at all. I go, what are you doing? Yeah. You don't have the idea of it,
You sit there and you say, listen to the crowd. They will help you. Because if you
they'll tell you what they want. They'll tell you what they want. I said, I go, watch me manage. I work with the crowd the whole time I'm out there. That's what I'm out there for.
Yeah. Well, there aren't any Dick Murdochs anymore to actually get the crowd so involved that they're calling the match for them.
That's true.
yeah, really, no kidding. I loved it. That was unbelievable, that match. I laughed so hard. And Carl Cox used to have me dying too. He was good too out there.
Yeah.
Cox would have me say it. He looked so straight faced, and he'd have you laughing your ass. Yeah, I just die. Sometimes I just dive into him like that, laughing so hard. You quit laughing, you little asshole. I said, "Damn, killer, you're killing me out here."
And I am going to have you tell the story again, just in case we didn't get all of it earlier. I want to hear the story of Abdullah and the buffet again.
Well, Abdullah, when I first started, I was in Amarillo for the function. And what happened was, when I was trained, I was taught, hey, listen, I don't know why the guy said, you're a wrestler. If you go somewhere and they tell you to referee, tell them to kiss your ass. You're a wrestler. I said, okay. And so when I got to Amarillo, I was 180-something pounds, and there's Cyclone Negro weighed 320 in this corner. Abdullah weighed, 800 in this corner. And Sweet Hanson weighed 320, and this guy, and here I am, 180 pounds. And so I was there about a week, and I got fired. They said I was too small. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so they give me another booking sheet for the second week, and then I was done. They had me referee. I went and told Art Nelson, I go, hey, Art, I ain't no referee. He goes, what'd you say? And he said, I tell you what you do. You take that booking sheet and stick it up your ass and go home now. I don't care. I was trying to help you get some gas money. I went, yes, sir. And I went, I'm sorry. I'm just totally intimidated. I was a 5'10", 180-something pounds. I'm like scared to death. Art Nelson's about 280 himself, right? And I go, God. And so one of the last trip actually I made, I didn't tell you all of it. The last trip they said, you take Abdullah to Albuquerque and you referee tonight. And I said, okay. So I picked up Abdullah. He gets in the back. And I'm driving like a chauffeur. And so we take off down the highway. He goes, hey, baby, taps you on the shoulder. He goes, look, when we get up to Tucumcari, about 100 miles, there's a good buffet. Wake me up, okay? I go, okay. And I didn't even see the sign Tucumcari. He woke up. I guess he smelled it. He tapped me on the shoulder. About 2 more miles, you'll see the exit. I go, okay. So we go into Albuquerque, and on the way back, all of a sudden, something happened to my car, and it blew the engine. I barely made it. I was chugging, just back into Amarillo, just barely going. I dropped him off, and I just chugged back to the hotel. I had to call and get a tow the next day. I didn't have no money. I'd borrow it from my dad. My great wrestling career. I went over there, and my blow engine in my car, and got fired, and sent back home, and I got to borrow money to get my engine fixed to get home. And so, but on the way back, what she was talking about, on the way back, Abdullah knew this story. I told him this story about me getting fired and all that. He said, here's what you do, buddy. He said, write a letter to Dory Funk Jr. He owns this territory, not Art Nelson. And you write, thank him for you trying, giving you a tryout. if you know anyone that will, you can go in their territory or you can give me a job, as somewhere. I appreciate it, and you write your phone number down. So I did that, and I gave it to them the next day while I was waiting on my car to be fixed. And so I got a call from I called my dad about just as my car got fixed. I called my dad, say I'm heading home today, and he goes, "Hey, listen." He goes, "You need to get your ass home. I just got a call from Dory Funk Jr. He said you're booked in Louisiana for Bill Watts in 2 weeks." And that's what happened. I went there, and then from there I went to Florida, and then from there to Georgia, from there to the Crockett's, and there to Calgary or Germany, Calgary, and then I kept going. That's how I got it. That's how it happened.
It's crazy.
Thank God for Abdullah.
Right? Well, it's crazy to think that back then it was all who you knew and how you treated them.
Exactly.
And that's how it was.
That's what it was. Yeah. Word of mouth, man. You treat somebody bad, it clicks all over every territory, and you got a reputation, for that. And everybody, you had to pay for it. So you make sure you took care of the boys, covered their back, make sure everything, the best you could do, took care of each other. That's all we had was each other. And a guy would come in the ring, wash his tights the night before, get his ass whipped in the dressing room. I ain't scared. Let's smell that stinking shit. Well, man, I heard it a million times. First thing we do, as soon as we got to the room, wash the stuff out in the sink or the bathtub, hang it up dry for tomorrow night if we didn't have an extra set.
Wow.
You don't want to hear that. You didn't want them old timers to smell that, and you get that ass beat.
No. There's a lot of people now that need to take that bit of advice at times.
I hear you. But you know what? Hey, you're like this one, boss. In Memphis, here's why I like Memphis so well. I was there as the Grapplers, right? Me and Tony. Mm-hmm. And we used to go to this one hotel every Friday, and TV was Saturday morning. So we go and we wrestle. They always have us like 100 miles, like at Jonesboro or somewhere, or Blytheville, not far from Memphis. So we come back, go to the hotel the next morning, 8 o'clock, do TV. And every Friday we'd come in, wash our stuff, hang it up, ice the beer down. Tony go, put the cheese in the window for the rats. And I put my loaded boot in the window of the hotel. Boy, it wasn't 15 minutes. Come on in, girls.
Wow.
No, he used to call my loaded boot, the cheese.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Reb, why do I feel like I should have worn my Jack Vaughn shirt tonight instead of this one?
You got to ask him. When you talk to Tony, you got to ask him about that. He'll laugh his butt off.
Make a note, Minderz.
I got it. The cheese. Yeah. I'm going to put the cheese as my note.
Minderz has a T-shirt that says "Support your local ring rats" that she didn't wear today.
Yeah, I love it.
A guy named Jack Vaughn out of Ohio, Minderz?
Yeah, he's out of Ohio.
He's an old school guy. But
he's called the vet. He's called the veteran.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
And but he makes fun of indie wrestlers and the thigh slap and the thigh slap and the super kick.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
So a lot of his shirts are jokes, some sort of joke about like support your local ring rat. One of his he does OVW up here. He wrestles at OVW, and Foley was there. And Foley, Mick actually said that he was one of his favorite wrestlers. That Jack Vaughn was one of his favorites. So he has a shirt that says Mrs. Foley's baby boy's favorite wrestler on it. It's fun. He has a bunch of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. Hey, Len, we've had you on here for about an hour and 10 minutes, and we really appreciate you making the time, especially considering that we tried it earlier.
Sorry about the problem earlier.
Oh, no, that's all on my end, so the apology is from me. Before
we let you go, talk to Tony. I hope y'all put Tony on here. He'll love it.
Oh, we would love to. Yeah. Hey, before we let you go, though, we've got John Nord coming on next week.
Yeah.
And
any story I should ask him about?
Yeah.
Well, ask Johnny Nord about the time that he caught me with a midget in Baton Rouge.
Midget, Baton Rouge. Like it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a hell of a tease.
You're going to love this story. Well,
like I said, it's been funny because we started with Fidel,
Yeah.
Dave. We start with Dave, and then Ricky, and it's
well,
like
that's just Fonzie first.
Well, yeah, it did start with Fonzie.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And then
Cool.
as it's gone, each of them have said, well, hey, ask him about blah, blah, blah. So
ask him about it. You got to tell you a hell of a story about me when you hear that one.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, I don't think we've even scratched the surface. We'll have to have you on for a part 2 sometime very
Anytime
soon.
you want, brother. Anytime you want. Okay?
All right.
And we'll be in touch with you about getting a hold of Tony. So
yes.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
You too.
All right. You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was awesome.
I fangirled out.
My day is made. I mean, I was having a shitty day. That made it all.
You were having
all
a
worth
shitty
it.
day. You were having, and see, aren't you glad now? There were a lot of things that him and I talked about earlier when we had our 6A episode, and I was like, man, I can't talk about certain things because I don't want to ruin it for.
I appreciate it. Oh man, that would be cool if we can manage to make Tony Anthony happen on the pod. But we got a couple other people that we're working on just about getting dates lined up. And like we said, we got Nord coming up next week. We got Justin Credible the week after that for his third appearance. And going forward from there, we got any number of... No, wait. Justin's 2 weeks on the 16th. So stay tuned to the Facebook page. We'll have announcements for more guests and all that good stuff. Programming note, Minderz, on Thursday, because none of us have any desire to watch a debate on television, we have decided that because I can't speak for everybody. What I would normally do is I would just put a wrestling show on when there was something like that to take my mind off of it.
So we decided. So you brought it to the crew.
I brought it to the crew. So we decided we're going to do a special Facebook Live only watch along Thursday, and we're doing the Great American Bash from 1990. I thought we'd make it a little patriotic because we're coming up on the 4th of July. I tried to figure it out where I could get the actual feed of the download the pay-per-view and put it in like the window, like how we do with some of our longer videos. I can't make it happen, so we're going to have to do it watching the Peacock. So we won't have the actual show playing on the feed. We'll just be watching it, but we will we'll be talking all about it, and I'll throw some pictures up.
And if you want to watch our reactions, which usually those are pretty funny.
Yes. But it's going to be you and me. I think Barry and AJ are going to join us for this one.
And then another programming note possibility. We might have the Minderz reads Collision. What happened on Collision?
Oh, I hope we do. I'm trying to figure out, should we just do that Saturday evenings, just throw up a StreamYard and just have you read it and then...
Oh, we did have it Saturday night, didn't we?
Yeah, because we did it in the car on the way back from Edgewood.
So do you want to explain to everybody what brought it on?
Well, we hadn't watched Collision. We were driving back. It was after one of our local shows, and you may have had a cocktail or two, possibly.
Maybe.
And you were sitting in the back seat just because, and we were curious what happened on Collision because AJ did not go with us to the show. He had watched the show and kind of teased a couple things. So you decided to go on Fightful? I think
I was on Fightful. I was on one of them, Fightful or Bleacher Report. I'm not sure which one it was.
And you read the blow by blow of the entire show of Collision in one breath, mind you. You did not come up for air this whole thing. Me and Bar, you're dying in the front seat.
Oh, I knew you guys were. I knew you were.
And we just thought this may be something we need to do for content. Just have Minderz read the results. We won't watch Collision. We'll just wait for you to read the results and react accordingly.
I was going to say, how many freaking Hurricane Ranas can you do in one match?
Oh my god! And then there's the Ospreay Cage match. Brian Cage. It was like every finish in the book and kicking out of it and going on and on and on. So it was an adventure. It was an audio adventure from the lips of Mindy Elam.
Or trying to pronounce some of the Mexican names.
Yeah.
Like
Hechicero. You had a lot of trouble with Hechicero's name.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
But now that I know, it sounds like it's kind of like Chichishiro.
Yes.
Because I listened to Corny. And
yes.
He went,
Yeah, you had issue with Corny. This
I
drive-through,
did.
Minderz.
We
We've
did.
always said we don't agree with everything that he says.
We don't agree with everything he says. And
But-
I understand where he's coming from.
Oh yeah, I figured
But
he wasn't going to be thrilled with.
But see,
Yeah.
he didn't like it to begin with the first time either, and I didn't mind it. So
No. So yeah, Minderz, let's go ahead. We're going to hop out of here. So don't forget tomorrow night, Zero1 Shootout. There will not be a guest. We're just breaking down 3 full shows that happened this past weekend.
3 full shows that happened this weekend.
Yeah. Then Thursday night, Thursday will be 7 p.m. Central Time, not 6. Minderz. We're pushing it back an hour.
Okay.
And we're watching the Great American Bash. Some good stuff on that show also. Midnight Express against the Southern Boys. Vader's WCW debut is on that show. Mean Mark against Lex Luger. Sting and Flair. It's a pretty stacked show. Once you get past the first few preliminary matches on there. But we're going to watch it all and react accordingly. But a huge thank you to the Grappler for joining us, Len Denton. Making the time to come back and try this again after all the problems I was having. And I want to reiterate, all the problems were on my end. This was all my fault. So, Minderz, thank you for being patient with me getting this figured out.
Well, you say that, but it really wasn't all your fault. I think a lot of it was you just didn't have any power.
Well, that too. But
that didn't help matters any.
Yeah, I'm trying to rush to get things going. And yeah, it was just a shit show. maybe I'll clip it into segments for the 200th episode.
There's one in particular that I want. If you clip it, you need to clip out that part where you, took care of those flying headphones. Beware of flying headphones.
I think there's a t-shirt coming.
Well, and I go back and listen to that because even Len said something about it, and it was crazy. He's like, well, I think those headphones pissed him off.
I was just worried as soon as I did it. I was like, oh, I think I may have hit a picture on the wall. I hope it wasn't the wedding picture.
No, you didn't. It was below the pictures. It was below the pictures.
Good. Yeah, because the wife would not be happy if I broke the frame that had the wedding picture in it.
Probably not.
And I didn't hit the cat, which is also important.
Yes, that's important.
All right. Minderz, we're rambling. I've got a whole bag of Taco Bell waiting for me here. So let's get out of here, and we'll pick it up again tomorrow on the Zero1 Shootout. So
maybe after the shootout, do you want to at least touch base on some of our stuff or no? Because we do have that Forbidden Door coming up. Blah blah blah.
Maybe we'll do maybe a bonus JTR after the shootout's over with.
Just a little short one.
Yeah, nothing
long.
Yeah, because we haven't done our Name That Wrestler. We haven't done the Good Hoot and Judy. We got to talk about Forbidden Door. We got to talk about Jacob Fatu.
Yes, and CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Yes, so there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get into because of circumstances. I'll work on getting that to happen tomorrow and get that set up.
Either tomorrow or later, whenever. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, because we don't have a guest tomorrow on the shootout, so we should be able to regulate it pretty well.
Let's hope.
Yes. All right. Well, Minderz, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. For Minderz, this is Reb. Mind you all, life is hard, work stiff. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.